Can you believe that the new 6th generation 4Runner from Toyota has already been out for a couple model years at this point? And Toyota's just updated us on the 26 model year. What's different? What kind of price hikes we're going to see? We're going to discuss that today. You know, the 4Runner going turbo 4-cylinder this generation, I think it's ugly from looking at it at the front. It is a mixed bag, and it's also really expensive, as we'll talk about here in today's video, outside of the SR5 trim. But despite its potential weaknesses, if you guys remember earlier this year, it was back in February, I drove the SR5 4Runner, and it drives, it behaves, it handles, it executes exactly as a 4Runner should. And that's why I'm still surprised, but I did rank this all the way up into my S tier, which is the highest category, the most enjoyable and best executed cars I've reviewed so far in 2025. All right. Armada, though, you know, it's a little bit more expensive, but it is objectively better. In fact, the Armada, I know I got to bring it up because it is my favorite body on frame vehicle on the market. The Armada and the QX80 equivalent, the Infiniti equivalent, those are the best buys for body on frame SUVs on the market right now, in my humble opinion. All right. But the Armada starts maybe 10, 15 grand more than the 4Runner. All right. So the 4Runner in this SR5 is still a great buy. So here we have Toyota with the new press release talking about what's new for 2026, if anything. But before we get into that, I want to go over what Toyota is working on right now. Okay, this is the new Hilux. The Hilux we used to get in the United States used to be called the Toyota pickup here. The 4Runner has its roots as a Hilux, Hilux Surf. Okay, so I have to bring this up because, one, it's on brand, okay, but it's also a part of the 4Runner's heritage, the Hilux. So what we have is a couple teasers here. Really, it's the same image of the front end of the new Hilux. We should have a reveal in the next 24 hours for this, so stay tuned. I'll update you guys on the channel. Will we get in the United States? No, we have the Tacoma. We have the Tundra. We don't get the global Hilux, which is a damn shame because it's an amazing truck. We still keep our fingers crossed for the Hilux Champ SUV, the Land Cruiser FJ as a Lexus. Anyways, it's kind of not really related to the Hilux of the 4Runner, the Land Cruiser FJ, but it's based off the Hilux Champ, so kind of. All right, so stay tuned for that update in the coming hours. All right, so let's get back to the 4Runner, and we'll also cover sales and availability of this in today's video as well. As I read through this, that's the same output of the engines that we've had in the past, or should I say the past year or so. Stabilizer bar disconnect is now optional in iForce Max TRD Off-Road Premium. If you want a 26 model year, they're arriving at dealerships now, essentially fall 2025. Okay, with the MSRP of $41,570 plus $1,450 for DHP. And we'll talk about this DHP here in a little bit. It's a bit confusing because if we go to the full line pricing for the 4Runner, it says $1,495. So not quite sure which one to believe. And if I actually go to the Toyota 4Runner builder for the 2025 model, on the builder it says $1,500. So DHP seems to be all over the place. It's anywhere from $1,450 to $1,500. All right, $50 is not going to break the bank if you're dropping 50 grand on one of these 4Runners. Same trim level lineup for 2026. It seems the colors: Ice Cap, Cutting Edge, Underground Black, Heritage Blue, Everest, and TRD Pro exclusive Wavemaker. Premium colors such as Supersonic Red, Windchill Pearl are also available. All right, it's Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, Toyota Care, that sort of thing. All right, so sales on the 4Runner have been good. So let's just talk about this real quick, and I'll talk about the price differences in a little bit. It's down 33% on the year. Okay, they had some issues at the Tahara plant, I believe, getting this thing up to production. But if we look at October sales, they're up 300% because they have real production capacity here. Okay, at 10,431. So impressive numbers. They're finally back on track for producing this thing at high volumes. What's it going to cost you? Well, let me boost this up for you. The new 4Runner is more expensive. Go figure. It is built in Japan exclusively. It should be, tariffs are 15% on vehicles coming from Japan. All right, so we have an $800 price increase across the board, except for the $1,000 TRD Pro model that went up well, $1,000 more. Okay. Also, DHP seemingly has gone up. If you look at the full line pricing spreadsheet, $850 increase on average versus last year if you include DHP. What do I think about that? Well, I couldn't really recommend any 4Runner trims other than the SR5. I pretty much stand by that. I mean, you guys might be able to get some good deals on 4Runner. Let's go and take a look. I'm curious. Let's look at Toyota 4Runner in my area in Southwest Florida. All right, let's go. There's 400 available. What about the 4Runner Hybrid? Only 24. So good luck getting your hands on an iForce Max. And in my testing, iForce Max really isn't worth the squeeze. It's heavier. Its fuel economy isn't really any better. The torque is nice on it, but you're not really gaining that much. And since it is heavier, it doesn't handle it quite as well. And it just feels a little bit more, I don't know. It just doesn't feel as good to drive, in my opinion, compared to the standard 4-cylinder. I like the standard 4-cylinder here. The turbo, it's really punchy. The 8-speed automatic is really, really decisive here. And it just feels great to drive. And the 4Runner handles way better than you think it would. So, let's go ahead and look at SR5. This is where you want to be when buying this. $43K, but I thought you said, Kirk, MSRP on SR5 should only be $41,000, right? Let's go back to the spreadsheet. It should only be about $41,500. Well, remember, you have $1,500 more for DHP. So the lowest MSRP you're going to find on a 26 or 25 model is roughly around $43,000. Okay, so when we go back to availability here, 158 SR5s in my area. That's great. I mean, just look at the lack of availability on other trims. They're just not going to sell very well. These things are way too expensive. The second, look at this. The second you get over $50,000, I'm taking my money to Nissan and buying an Armada. Yeah, look, I know these are two-wheel drives. I can get 4x4s in here if you want me to. Ooh, some Nismos are already out there. Let me check out this real quick. Nismos are out there and they're on sale. Look, this is like a $6,000 price drop here. Wow, the Nismos are pretty badass. 4x4 Pro 4X, like this thing is a Land Cruiser killer. I'd much rather have this than the Land Cruiser, even the Lexus GX that I'm driving right now and reviewing this week. This thing's insane. Anyways, there's no world in which I would take a 4Runner TRD Pro or Trailhunter over the Nissan Armada. And I know the Armada is bigger, and the Nissan Xterra is the traditional rival, but that's just not available on the market right now. It will be in the next few years. But anyways, Armada, though, it's just a much better buy once you're over $50,000. Look at this, $54,000 for 4x4 Armada SV, twin turbo V6. This thing is the truth. It's amazing SUV, great for families, great for off-roading, great for towing. Way better than the 4Runner. You instantly get, the second you get into a TRD Sport Premium, you're in Armada price range. All right, so really the only trim level that the 4Runner is worth its weight is the SR5, 4x4 and 4x2. Anything else is just too expensive, and you might as well upgrade to a much better vehicle. I wouldn't say much better vehicle, but it's just a better vehicle overall, much more capable. Okay, the Armada. Back to availability in the 4Runner, still $43K for an SR5. It's still a lot of money. I wish these things were priced under $40K. It is what it is. Sales are really good on these things, so pricing seems to be good enough. I'm going to end this video with some more Toyota news. Toyota delaying their EV battery plant in the Fukuoka prefecture area. And it is, well, look at this. It's just, I think they were supposed to build it here so they could be able to ship the batteries out to other parts of Japan or other parts of the world. But it has been delayed once again. However, they will not scrap this battery production plant. It will be pushed back from the originally intended the 2028 start, and some output there may be switched to vehicles or components. All right. So what was going to be a full-on battery plant, it looks like it's also going to be a parts plant when this thing finally comes online, but who knows when it's going to come online here. So it could be maybe 2029, 2030. It's pretty crazy, but that's just where BEV demand is right now. It's very low. So I'll see you guys in the comments about the 4Runner. Is it getting too expensive? Do you just want more competition? Do you want the Xterra to be here with V6 power? Let me know if you agree with me. If you are spending over 50K, just go get an Armada because it's a better, more capable, bigger. I know not everyone wants as big of a vehicle as Armada, but I'm telling you, it's just so good. All right, I'll see you guys in the comments. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more news updates here on the channel. I will be reviewing that. You can't really see it. It's actually behind the Sienna. Right, gosh, camera. It's behind the Sienna is the GX 550 Overtrail that I'm reviewing this week. So stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you guys in the comment section. Have a great day and peace.